Nonprofits have several filing deadlines that are quickly approaching, specifically January 31st. Today, we're tackling 1099s and the Form W-9. Hi, I'm Teresa Clark, and I'm a seasoned CPA with over 25 years dedicated to serving 501c3 nonprofits. I've done that both as an internal CFO and as an external auditor of nonprofits. I bring a unique perspective to your financial journey. So if you'd like to learn more, you can explore my website at teresaclark.com. This time of the year, I get lots of phone calls, emails. When is this due? What do I do? How do I do this? And so today I want to tackle these common questions asked about the Form 1099. Well, 1099 is an informational return that your organization, as a nonprofit, should file with the IRS to report money that you paid to an individual, not a corporation. Although it's a little tricky because sometimes corporations are individuals, but they don't look that way because somebody is doing business as an assumed name. So the most common reason you need to file this return is if you've paid an independent contractor or a business that's really an individual for tax purposes more than $600 throughout the previous calendar year. So the returns due as I'm doing this recording in 2025 would be related to payments made in 2024. Here are some examples of some potential payments that you might need to include in your 1099 reporting. Maybe a landscaper who operated their business as a sole proprietor that's done services for your organization. Another example would be an individual that you might have paid to do work on your website or to do technical contract work. Another common example is speakers or guest musicians that provide services for an event that you're having for a weekend worship service. And I'll add security guards. Very often, off-duty officers are providing services to churches, and those are a service that would be required to be reported on a 1099. If your organization paid someone more than $600 last year, you really want to pay attention to what we're talking about today. You are required to file that Form 1099 to the IRS and give a copy to the contractor by January 31st. So what about that Form W-9? Well, it's important to note that the W-9 is actually never filed with the IRS. It's kept internally to your organization. And it's intended to be helpful in collecting the information that you need to distinguish whether someone's really a contractor as an individual or as a corporation. The document requires they spell out their filing status. Are they a sole proprietor? Are they a partnership? Are they a corporation? And so the information on the Form W-9 is going to help you to know whether you need to file this 1099 for payments made to them or not. Now, it's your responsibility as a nonprofit to obtain that W-9 prior to paying them. Now, this is helpful because afterwards they don't really like to give it to you. They don't have a reason to. And so I really recommend that you do it before payments made. But if not, be on alert. It's January and you need to go hunt them down and get this information so that you can ensure you're filing the 1099s correctly. Now, collecting and securing a W-9 prior to paying the contractor needs to be in your normal processes, documented in your policies. When you have a new vendor you're paying, you should always get it. Even if you know that they're not an individual, you'll be surprised. Just get it every single time. Make it a habit anytime you pay a new vendor to have it on file. That way, you're not scrambling to figure out the information you need or to find their social security number or EIN number at the last minute when these forms are due. But if somehow you've paid a contractor this last year without getting that W-9, go ahead and reach out to them now so that you can start trying to get that information. It's very hard to get at this point in the game, and sometimes you have to file with the information you have, even if it includes blanks. Okay, let's talk about how to file 1099 forms. Okay, first of all, most accounting softwares offer this feature either integrated into their system, like QuickBooks, or with a third-party service that partners with your accounting system. I'm thinking about Blackbaud. They have a relationship with a company called Atrix that files the forms through Blackbaud system. Or another alternative is if you have a CPA or a tax preparer, they might be able to offer this service for you. And the last thing I'd say is if at worst case, you probably just need to get like a third party service and then upload information to have them file them for you. Now, I think paper forms are still available, but very cumbersome, very tedious, and very expensive at the last time I checked. So an integrated or an online service is definitely what I would recommend. One that I've heard of from someone that I've done work with is a site called tax1099.com. And I think for a few dollars, they'll both retrieve a W-9 and then help you prepare or file that 1099. So I haven't done work with them personally, but I've heard of them being an option. So I wanted to mention it. Okay, well, make sure that the people that you've paid that need to be reported to the IRS also receive separate copies of this form by January 31st. If you're seeing this video after January 31st and you're realizing, oh no, I should have done that, I'm late, or I forgot to send that particular company one, or someone reaches out to you looking for the 1099 and prompts you to realize you might have missed filing it for them, it's okay. Still file it, even though there could potentially be a penalty applied. It's better to get it done than to not comply with this requirement. Okay. Well, your next steps are identify those that you've paid more than $600 to in the past year. Number two, confirm the W-9 was collected and confirm their filing status. That way you know if you need to issue a 1099. For those that you need to issue the 1099 for, file it by January 31st and also send the copy to the contractor by January 31st. They'll need that to file their own taxes, and so you're helping them out. Today, we touched on the process of filing 1099s, but on a broader note, it's really common for misclassifications to happen between whether someone's actually a contractor or an employee. And it's a very common mistake that I see in nonprofits. So it's a much larger topic, but it's an essential concept. And I cover it in depth in my signature A to Z master course called The Financially Thriving Nonprofit. We're launching a new group in the masterclass in February that's going to include a lot of awesome group interaction and opportunity, and I don't want you to miss it. So you can hear more about this incredible course and the opportunity I have for you in an upcoming webinar on February 6th. You can register for this webinar on my website, teresaclark.com, or find the link where you're watching this. Now, if you have a specific or time-sensitive question about what we talked about today, you can always book a consulting call with me at teresaclark.com so that we can go ahead and quickly move to answer your unique situation. Until next time, see you later.